See, this kind of qualifies as Christmas because, like Padres, that's like a religious, and then there's red and green on this jersey, so it's Christmas.
It's not how
it works. Oh, it absolutely does work that way.
Cinnamon's telling that box who's boss.
I told you she beats it up like it owes her money.
She does whole body.
She just yanks on it, reefs on it.
I can't read this at all. This is really tiny. Oh. Did your computer have an update or something? Look at how weird that looks.
Yeah. The Chrome. There's an update for Chrome.
Oh, I haven't done that.
And I'm not a fan of it.
I don't want to do.
I didn't want to do it, but my computer rebooted one night, and I logged in, and it was all different. I'm like, oh, good. Thankfully, the X's are back on the tabs because those were gone. I was like, oh, good.
No, I'll just have 5,000 tabs.
I can't close tabs.
Won't be able to find anything now.
What a pain. Hi, everybody.
Cinnabon's just going to town on that box flap.
Well, at least you're seeing what I've been talking about when I say she beats it up like it owes her money.
Full body. All right. Hello.
I have to stop her, too. She'll do that when I'm trying to do a video. I'm thinking that's way too loud. I can't have that in the background. Hey, Bun. It's funny watching her pulling on it.
Yeah, she like full body.
But she's not eating the cardboard. She's just tearing it.
No, it's little bits all over the floor.
That's part of the reason why I have to stop her too. Because when she's doing that, you just end up with cardboard everywhere. She's
gonna get to sweep more.
Yeah. Hey, there you go. Will the Jets make it past the first round?
Man, I hope so. How cool would that be if they could keep playing like this? Not like they were playing at the very beginning of the season where it was just one of those, well, they might be good. They could be good. Now they're actually playing well. If they could just keep that going and not do the normal Jets thing of playing well and just, nah, we're fine. We're fine. We don't need to do that anymore. So that'd be great.
I think the Jets will be fine.
I hope so.
I really like their team. I think they're going to be solid.
I know, but there's been like the past several years, they've had a really good team, but that doesn't always come across in how they play. Right. And you know that they could be so much better because they are a good team. And then sometimes they just aren't. And that's where they can be really frustrating because you know they can be good. Right. And then they just.
Does Lane Hudson play in the NHL this year? Potentially down the stretch. Sure. After the trade deadline, there are plenty of young guys that come up and play. So,
wow, Curly sound all sporty.
If you were one of the Spice
Girls.
Girls.
It's slower down today. Did you move your camera?
Because I always make sure that it cuts off where the Shannon Hockey Guy is.
So you can't see how not level our ceiling is?
Well, yeah, there's that.
So that's
what's your favorite Nine Inch Nails song and album?
Oh, what's the name of the album that came out like in the 90s?
Downward Spiral.
Yeah, that's the one.
So she's typical. Yeah, I'm gonna have to say Downward Spiral for album, and the best song on that album is Reptile. That is absolutely one of my favorite songs. But She's Gone Away is
that one's really good
right now. That one and only if you're having a bad day. Only is a really good song for making you feel angry.
It's a really good song for really.
Do I think the Canes will go for someone big at goalie like Gibson, or will be a reclamation project like Elvis? I'm not sure what Carolina plans to do. I think at this point they understand that Ronta's not working. Is it Previtz? Something like that they might be calling up. I was reading that yesterday, and I mean, Gibson would be a good addition. The thing is, Gibson's a $6.4 million cap hit. It's pricey, and Anaheim isn't going to give Gibson away.
Oh, can we see a rabbit, please? Okay, we'll make sure we pick up a rabbit when one comes by our feet. Right now, Licorice is eating some parsley. I brought in, we still have parsley and kale and Brussels sprouts in the garden, so I brought those in this morning. And then Cinnabon, she's all exhausted from tearing up that box.
Yeah, she's done her work for today. She's done good work. There's Licorice. Say hi, Bun.
Okay, so I'm going to ask this because I did see this in the comment section a lot today. How do the Jets slide in power rankings because of one game with the Sharks playing better?
Vegas passed them. It's not a slide. It's that Vegas passed them. Vegas has played really, really well this month. And so Vegas was almost number one. Just the only reason they weren't number one was that loss against Buffalo. Other than that, the top three would have stayed the same.
How do you make sure the cats don't eat the rabbits? The rabbits would win.
Cats.
The rabbits would win.
The rabbits push the cats around generally.
Yeah. Nobody told the rabbits that they are prey animals. They would win.
Hey, rabbit.
Bunnies are strong. You always think of rabbits being really timid. They are not.
Their back feet.
They can do a drop kick, and they've got some claws.
And their teeth.
The cats do not mess with the rabbits.
Nope.
Ever.
No.
They know better.
Cinnabon wouldn't let Bear go on one of the scratchers in the room here. Every time she went near a scratcher.
In
fact, there were 3 different cats I watched her the one day. She chased away from one of the scratchers. She's like, no, that's mine. So Maple, Azrael, and Bear, she chased them all off. No, that's mine.
She's got some attitude. She's pretty sure she's in charge.
Yep.
But no, that's not a problem.
Nope.
How would you evaluate the Horvat trade almost a year later? I think it worked out for both sides.
I agree. I think it was a deal that Horvat needed. I think Horvat's done a good job of playing up to his contract. That's a video I want to do this week as we get closer to Christmas. Talking about some players who signed the big extensions, and everybody was all doom and gloom. Miller, Horvat being 2 prominent ones. And some of them have worked out really well. Some haven't. So I think it'll be interesting to look at players on long-term deals signed, I would say, over the last 18 months. But yeah, the Horvat deals worked out well for both teams. And I mean, they're both playoff teams. So that tells you right there. And Horvat's been really good lately.
Caught up on Bake Off yet? Canadian holiday episode was fun. We
haven't watched the holiday one yet.
We did watch the finale
last night.
The Canadian Bake Off.
We watched that last night.
And we guessed who would win.
And then we've got to get caught up on Love Island Games because that was over almost a month ago now.
It was so ridiculous.
It really is. It really is.
Okay. Do Enforcer career videos, please. Maybe call it Enforcer Friday.
I've done a few videos on Enforcers. The one tricky part is that, I mean, they don't score goals. They don't play a lot of minutes. They don't usually end up being pieces in like a big trade. It just basically is, here's a bunch of penalty minutes. So yeah, that's why I haven't done a lot of the Enforcers in terms of career videos, but I've done a few.
I think Montreal missed the opportunity to trade away Anderson last season. Will they make, oh my gosh, really? Will they make the same mistake with Allen, Savard, Monahan? Love the jersey and hoodie today. Merry wet Christmas from BC Northwest. Okay, come here.
I didn't understand last year why they wouldn't take a first round pick for Anderson. I thought that was a really fair return. They're not going to get a first for him this year, but I do think that Montreal will likely sell at the deadline. As long as they're not within 4 points of the playoffs. If they're within 4 points, then maybe Kent Hughes decides to just stand pat. But I think they will trade away pending UFAs this year.
Who's better, Velarde or Dubois?
Right now, it's Velarde. It should be Dubois. So by the end of the year, I would expect Dubois to outscore Velarde and outchance him. But it's weird. It doesn't feel like Dubois fits in LA. And I don't know how you change that. Sort of similar to Goudreau in Columbus and Huberdeau in Calgary. These players just don't fit the systems they're in.
Yvonne needs a raise and Bear needs treats. Do you need treats?
She'd always have treats.
She's a neglected cat. She's
the only cat that will beg for treats, which means they're not treats anymore. They're an expectation.
Okay. What are your opinions of Florida being back-to-back shutout?
I was glad they had the bounce back last night against Edmonton, because if they'd lost that game and if they weren't able to get more than, I would say, 1 or 2 goals, there's trouble. It's not a huge deal. Again, teams have been struggling with their swings out west. I'm not sure why, but that's been the case for a while. So yeah, I really don't think it's that big a deal necessarily. Florida's still in pretty good shape points wise and in the standings.
I see a lot of people saying this is the first live stream they've been able to make.
There we go.
That's cool. That's
Welcome.
why we try it, kind of do them at different times sometimes, just
What is your
so
problem?
different people can watch. Yeah.
Why are you glaring at
Windsor
me?
sees treats as regular food, and regular food is torture. She would like the wet can food. I give the cats wet food in the morning. One can. They all have to share it. I have to split it up, and they all act as if they're starving. And Bear is pretty sure that is the only acceptable food.
She wants a can to herself.
The canned food in the morning, and then she just wants treats.
You want a can for yourself, don't you?
She's not spoiled, though. Are you?
It's because that one day she got pushed out of getting any of the wet cat food. And so I brought a can in here and gave her a can. And so since then, she's figured, well, Dad can just go get me my own can. If
I whine enough, Dad's going to give me my own. Are you concerned about the Wings?
Mildly. There are injuries, obviously, that are affecting their play. Lyon getting hurt is a tough one, too. He's been excellent for them so far this year. But they're still going to win their share of games. The tricky part's going to be there are some teams underneath them that are playing better. I'm 50-50 on whether or not they make the playoffs right now.
It sounds exactly what my cats do in the morning. They all love that canned food. Baron Azrael especially.
She wants lots of breakfast.
Maple's the only one that doesn't eat the canned food. She does not come over. Well, no, there was one morning she did, but it's usually just the 4.
Yep.
And then, and then Bear and Azrael ask for canned food all day.
Yep. Yeah, Azrael will just hang out around the food and then meow at you every time they walk by. Like, hey, there's nothing in this can over here. You want to fix that? Or
this can is low. I can only see a little bit.
I could eat some more of the wet canned food. And that other cat I hate, she wants it too. So
the cats and buns do look malnourished. Right. That's the problem we have in this house. Limp Bizkit, are they good or are they bad? Overrated or overhated? I have seen Limp Bizkit live. Not intentionally. They were with Metallica and Linkin Park and Limp Bizkit and somebody else. Crap.
See, for me, there are a couple of Limp Bizkit songs I liked, but
yeah, I back when he was big, I did have 2 albums, and then it just kind of went down.
Well, and then fun. Then he kind of wrecked Behind Blue Eyes, but at least it had that funny part in the middle with LIMP Discover. I'm not sure what he's getting at there, but no, let's not discover Limp. Just
not my favorite. I think people do like to overhate music.
But the Who's version of Behind Blue Eyes is vastly superior.
Well, yeah, but yeah.
And Love Reign Over Me, that is one of the greatest songs ever by The Who.
Henrik is the number 1 center for the Canucks. Who's number 2, Linden or Pete?
Oh, yeah, definitely Pettersson. Pettersson would be the second best center they've had. I'd also have Ronning in the conversation too. Maybe ahead of Linden. I might have Ronning ahead of Linden. But again, I do have some bias when it comes to Cliff Ronning.
Is it just me, or is that supposed to say Stars stagnate every year?
It's an 82 game schedule, so every team's going to have periods of time during the season where they don't look as good. Dallas right now is frustrating to watch because there's a really good team there that absolutely is a Stanley Cup contender, and they're not playing up to that every night. Maybe with Ottinger out, maybe that'll be what fires them up and gets them going. But Dallas of the 3 teams that I cheer for, Dallas is the one I'm most concerned about right now.
Do you like dark chocolate covered sponge toffee? Yeah,
she does. Dark chocolate for me, it depends. Like, there's the strong dark chocolate I can't eat.
Dark chocolate.
I can't. It has to be somewhat sweet.
I have to watch sugar.
Yeah.
And sugar does not agree with me. And since I don't eat sugar, when I have the little bits, it's way too sweet. So dark chocolate's perfect for me. And yeah, sponge toffee is fantastic. Shannon's not a fan. I know Yvonne likes the Beatles. Yes. Shannon prefers the Stones. But what do y'all think of the Beach Boys? Not really.
I mean, a few of their songs I've liked, but
there were some that I liked when I was younger. But
I don't mind it as like background music if we're out and the Beach Boys are on. I might sing along a little bit, but I mean, it's. I can't see me saying to her, "Hey, we're going on a road trip. Let's listen to the Beach Boys."
No.
I might not last very long on that road trip, or I might lose control over the radio / CD player.
Yes, because I'm the driver, and my
You've changed the channel on me.
My steering wheel has buttons, so I can change it, and there's nothing you can do about it.
And she's done so.
Absolutely, because Shannon turns the radio to some.
I'm telling you, if you listen to Bon Jovi enough, you'll like it. You just need to hear.
I do change it when he puts Bon Jovi.
You need to hear "Living on a Prayer" one more time.
Oh my gosh, I don't.
And you'll be like, you know what? I love this song.
If you have to acquire a taste, no, I'm not acquiring a taste.
You acquired a taste for me.
My ex-husband was always, well, you have to acquire a taste. No, I don't.
That's what people always told me about beer.
It, right?
People always told me, oh, you don't like beer, but you get used to it. Why do I want to get used to something?
Sushi was the one that I was always told, you have to acquire a taste.
Because it was like I'd go to the bar and I'd be getting a wine cooler and I'd be like, why don't you get a beer? I don't like beer. I like wine coolers. Well, just drink beer and you'll get used to it. No, I like wine coolers. What? Why are you?
You guys feel like cool family friends. We're not cool.
There's nothing cool here.
It's
all a filter.
All a facade.
It's all a filter.
Don't worry. We're not cool.
YouTube's got this filter that makes us not look like dorks. And sometimes dorkness still gets through there. Hey, bun.
Definitely not cool.
Hi.
I love when fans continue singing "Living on a Prayer" during play. So obnoxious.
There's a lot of songs that people are singing along to now.
I haven't heard "Living on a Prayer" at a game.
It feels like
quite a while.
It feels like the American fans sing along to the songs more than Canadian fans do. There's a bunch of songs that fans will sing along to, and then from watching the games in Canada, those same songs come on, and I'm like,
that kind of explains.
"Living on a Prayer" they sing along to in Canada, but a lot of the other ones they don't.
I haven't heard that one for quite a while.
Like "Mr. Brightside," fans in the States.
I do really like that song.
I don't.
I like
my song from the Killers was "Somebody Told Me." That song is absolutely phenomenal. I was never a big fan of Mr. Brightside. Throw on "Somebody Told Me." I'll be singing along to that one. I can start it up next time we go to a hockey game.
No. I'm 55. I still can't stand beer because it's gross.
Yeah, it's nasty. It's
y'all
gross.
Are the whitest people I've ever seen, but that's okay. We are pretty darn white.
It's the light. The light definitely helps, and the never going out in the sunlight is probably part of it as well.
We did genetic testing, and yes, my DNA is white. Well, that's all that's in
my family is Scottish DNA. On one side and Irish on the other. So there's some real diversity there with my family.
Yeah,
so
right, there you go. See, and my family's from England and Wales. So yeah, we are.
Wow, we've got the UK covered.
I know.
We're good.
We can be all the colonizers.
That's the name of our rock band.
There you go. Will Vancouver stay hot for the rest of the season?
No, they will go through their issues over the season, but I do think they're going to be a playoff team, and I think that's absolutely fantastic. Keep in mind that them making the playoffs could really help convince Pettersson to stick around. So that's great, and then that'll also help convince other free agents to come to Vancouver.
My mom says, but we have the ugliest tartan. We really do. Our family tartan. I know.
My tartan's
Mom,
great.
Have you seen Shannon's family's tartan? It's way nicer. We should just adopt his tartan.
Go with the McLaren. The McLaren tartan's fantastic.
Ours is not.
In my family, you can go with McLaren. Skanes obviously has one too. Crawford, kind of. It's my tie to the Crawford name is tenuous, but if you want to go with that one, you can. I'm pretty sure there's a tartan for Crawford. But yeah, it's very much a tartan-filled background that we both have.
Happy holidays to you and the fam.
Happy holidays to you as well.
Who should the Kraken target this off-season?
Ooh, in the upcoming off-season, decide on whether or not Decord and Grubauer are a tandem that you're going to see as your tandem for years to come. If so, then you leave that as it is, and then you look to make improvements. I would think up front and on the blue line, there's room for improvement in both areas for Seattle. And hopefully soon Beniers pulls his way out of whatever funk he's been in. I know there's the sophomore slump. It's a real thing, but you don't want him to continue to toil and have obscure sort of mediocre numbers.
Best goalie award at this point in the season.
Demko would be up there. Swayman would be there as well. I think you'd have, well, I mean, I'm leaning towards Aiden Hill in Vegas, even though he's been injured for a while now. I still think Aiden Hill would probably be seen as the best goalie in the league right now.
Watching from Abu Dhabi, just wanted to say, love the channel, and you have fans from the Middle East.
Thank you very much.
That's awesome.
That is great.
Is there a possible Oiler-Kane goalie swap? Maybe a new team will help them out.
I don't think Ronta would end up going to Edmonton, and I don't think that Campbell's contract is tradable either. I think, well, I mean, it's a matter of finding something that works. And both Carolina and Edmonton actually need a goalie more than anything. And I don't think a swap between them would work.
My mom says she's watching from your basement closet.
I told her to get out of there. Remember, I got the broom and chased her out of there about a week ago.
Is Aiden Hill the real deal?
Yes. So after the playoff run, I really did not think, okay, I'm not like I did the top 10 goalies over the summer. I did not include Hill because it's a playoff run. I wanted to see how he'd do in this regular season. He's been excellent when he's been in the lineup. Thompson, not as good. Thompson's been good as well. But yeah, I think Aiden Hill's absolutely the real deal.
What's your thoughts on Quick's revival with the Rangers? Crazy, right? Sure didn't see that.
I knew his numbers should be better than last season just because last season's numbers were awful. But yeah, this has been a surprise that he's outplayed Shesterkin to this point. But hey, it pushes Shesterkin to play better, and he was really good yesterday against Boston. Great timing. But yeah, I think Jonathan Quick just is really enjoying playing in New York. I mean, sometimes a player getting to go where they've dreamt of playing works. And in his case, it has.
Shannon does have a St. Nick's jersey.
Yep.
Oh, somebody wants to see your hat.
It's San Diego Padres.
There you go.
And this
I'm
this
assuming
jersey,
you mean Shannon's because I don't think anybody needs to see a close up of mine. It's cute though. You like me?
So this one I got from
Tiny
Geeky
Santa
Jerseys because they had it for like
Yeah.
half off, and I was like, yeah, for half off, I'll buy it. They need to do a Cringer one though. Cringer and Battle Cat.
A shame the Canucks don't have a Johnny Canuck reverse retro jersey in their rotation. Best jersey they've had in a while.
I think with the Johnny Canuck, I think the fact that Abbotsford uses it is why you don't see it more often on Vancouver jerseys.
It looks so much like the Abbotsford jerseys. People wear them to the Abbotsford games a lot.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah. And I've got that old green Johnny Canuck. I'm so glad I got that one because
we've never seen it since.
I don't even see it at games.
No. We
So,
just happened to see it that
I'm
one
really
time.
glad I got that green fashion jersey.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
Have you guys invested in external storage for all the hockey apparel? If you have to pay for storage off of your house, then maybe you
Then
don't
it's
need
gotta
the
go.
stuff.
Yeah, it's got to go.
Nah.
Nope.
Want to sit with us at the Devils game at Giant Stadium? Come on, 300 level.
I mean, as tempting as that would be,
Quite the trip, eh?
it would be a long trip. I don't see myself making that trip, but someday, somehow, some way, I'll probably get to a stadium game or a Winter Classic.
I love the geeky jerseys. They have so many awesome jerseys.
Yep, they absolutely do.
Does the USA have better goaltending than Canada? Will Aiden Hill be the choice to play for Team Canada?
Right now, I think it'd probably be Hill and Bennington for Team Canada. And yes, American goaltenders have surpassed Canadian ones, Russian, Finnish, Swedish goalies as well. It feels like we're ahead of Canada. That may change soon. I know Hockey Canada is going to be putting more money and time into developing goaltenders than they have recently, but it takes time for that to even out. So, yeah, I would say goaltending is the one position that I would have some concern if the Olympics were tomorrow, but they're not.
You have the stadium game in Seattle, but tickets are expensive. Yeah, there's quite a few reasons that we wouldn't.
Yeah, that Winter Classic, that's a pricey game. And then Seattle's not it's closer than almost anywhere else, but still it's you're crossing the border. It's a long trip. It's a long trip back. And then I don't know what kind of view we'd have either for that.
Right. That's the thing I keep thinking about those games when we see them at the stadiums. You can't see the game very well.
It'd be just you're watching the big screen.
The atmosphere.
Yeah, absolutely.
And yeah, that's quite an ordeal. And it makes it so that Shannon can't see other games as well. And since they're generally on Saturdays. Love your channel. Devils are on the up and up. I can feel it. Let's go, Devils.
Yeah, I haven't had any concern with the Devils, even when they were, below the playoff line and not playing great. The Devils are too talented. They're too fast. They have everything you need to win. I understand there's some weakness when it comes to goal, but I think they can outscore that.
What do you think Calgary should do with Huberdeau?
I don't know what Calgary can do with Huberdeau. It's not a contract you can buy out. He doesn't have the market value where you can trade him. So even if he didn't want to be in Calgary, he really can't demand a trade because what happens then? It just doesn't. He doesn't fit there. I think if he'd stayed in Florida, he'd still be scoring a point per game. Wouldn't be in the 115 point range anymore, but he'd still be around 82, 85 points in a season. I don't know what Calgary's going to do with that contract. I don't know what Huberdeau might try to do if things don't get better, but it's not pretty.
Should the Jets go for Andrei Kuzmenko for the absence of Kyle Connor?
Kuzmenko, the issue with Kuzmenko is that for the way he's been producing, the cap hit's high. And there's term beyond this year as well. So I don't think he works as a fill-in while Connor's out, since Connor's coming back in 6 to 8 weeks. And then you'd have to jettison somebody in order to get under the cap. So I don't think Kuzmenko's a fit there.
Does Monty make Team Canada?
Monty. Oh, Montembeault. I don't think so. If he means Montembeault, I don't think so. I can't see. I mean, Montembeault's played well, but I don't think he makes Team Canada.
Do you think the Predators could be a dark horse team to win the Stanley Cup if they make the playoffs?
Nashville's more dangerous as an underdog than they are as a favorite. At least historically, that's been the case. I would not want to play Nashville if the playoffs started tomorrow. Saros is a really good goaltender. Forsberg's having the best year I think he's ever had. Yossi is fantastic. They're going to be dangerous. I don't know about Stanley Cup, but I don't think I'd want to play them in the first round.
How do you feel about Philip Cheadle being out and Trocheck stepping up big time?
Well, I mean, Trocheck's paid a lot of money. Hedl, he didn't have any goals at the time that he went down with injury. What it also did was it allowed Lafreniere not to be tied to the kid line. I think Lafreniere's been better. And now, of course, Kakko's out as well. So it's the Lafreniere show when it comes to the young kids up front. I think Trocheck's playing up to his contract right now.
Happy holidays, Yvonne and Shannon. May everything in your lives be joyous and fulfilling. Well, thank you.
Joyous and fulfilling right here. All of the joy, all of the fulfillment. So, except for that. But I think it's just a nervous tick because she knows she's so close to greatness. So she makes jokes when she's nervous.
That's it.
So
I make jokes when I'm nervous.
We talked about that last night, yeah. How you make jokes when you're nervous. You use sarcasm to deal with tough situations.
That's Shannon right there.
No.
Yeah.
Is not.
Uh-huh.
Is not infinity plus 1.
That's not how math works, but okay.
You're not how math works.
Dork.
Can't call me that. The doctor told you.
Okay. You have so many Jets. People are asking all the Jets questions today, and I'm trying to not just read a bunch of Jets questions because then people will put that on me and say it's because I'm choosing to read those, but there are way more Jets questions than other teams.
Because the Jets are playing really well. Jets are playing the best they've played
and people
in
are
about
really
5
excited
years.
because it's been years.
Yeah. 2017, 2018 was
It's
the
been
last time they
years.
looked this good.
So there are a whole lot of Jets questions.
Yep.
Okay. Should the Jets go for Travis Konechny while Casey's out?
I don't think Philly's trading Konechny. I'm going to go out on a limb and say Philadelphia, with the position they're in, they're not trading any of their big names. So yeah, there's zero chance Konechny ends up getting traded.
What right wing should the Rangers look at to trade for at the deadline?
It's really going to depend who's available. You'd have to scour the rosters of the teams that are rebuilding and try to find somebody who's going to be an upgrade. And that's where things get difficult. I like the Rangers lineup pretty much top to bottom. I think that, I mean, if anything, they might pick up a depth forward, but with how well they've been playing and how solid the record is overall, I don't think there's going to be major additions by the Rangers at the deadline because they don't really need it.
Do you think the Rangers are coming out of the defensive slump they were in?
Yeah. Last night's game against Boston, I was frustrated by the Bruins in that game, but yeah, I would say that the Rangers outplayed Boston last night in large part, and that was after the Rangers just shunted aside Anaheim without a lot of trouble. I definitely think they're playing better.
Would you get a penalty for skating over to the opposing player bench to do the high five celebration after scoring a goal?
You could get, if you're interacting with the other team's bench, you can get unsportsmanlike conduct. You can absolutely get penalized for that kind of thing. There was a penalty that was given out in a game I was watching the other night because a player fell into the other team's bench, and a player on that team didn't exactly let him out easily. He had to kind of get his way out of there.
Right.
And if you get caught interfering with a player that's trying to get back on the ice who fell into your bench, well, you're getting a penalty. There can't be interaction between the guys on the ice and the other players off the ice of the other team.
Do players pay escrow on signing bonuses?
No, that's part of the reason why players love signing bonuses.
Signing bonuses are so ridiculous.
They're lockout proof, they are buyout proof, and they're escrow proof.
So ridiculous.
Yep.
I don't understand.
I'm pretty sure they don't pay escrow on their signing bonus.
I don't understand how that's okay, but
escrow's going away soon anyways. Mostly.
The NFL gives penalty for celebrating. NFL's ridiculous.
The over celebrating.
It's obnoxious.
There are certain celebrations where it's like that's a little bit.
I don't think I
elaborate.
will ever forget that time you were watching American football on American Thanksgiving, and all of the players pretended they were having Thanksgiving dinner.
Yeah, you get in the boat.
So stupid.
Yeah, they pretended they came over in the boat and then they had Thanksgiving
dinner.
So
dumb.
It was great.
No, it was not.
It was fantastic.
No, that was ridiculous. But again, I'm not a fan of.
There was one that used to take out a Sharpie and sign the ball when you get a
Yeah,
touchdown.
yeah, I saw that too.
I think it's Terrell Owens. Did that. I think wasn't it Owens?
Not a fan of football. Shannon much prefers football over.
I don't have a problem with football. I could put football on right now. Sunday morning.
Rather not. I'm not a fan of the men in tights jumping on each other, but if that's what you like to watch.
Well, you're gonna be in trouble when we go to wrestling then. Going to see SmackDown in a couple weeks. You're gonna see a bunch of guys in tights jumping on each other.
Speedos all oiled up, and I don't.
And it's a TV taping, so
that's something that boys are into.
Be a lot of talking too.
Which coach do you think is on the hot seat?
It's got to be DJ Smith. It has to be DJ Smith. I know that Ottawa's talked about, how they're patient and they're happy with DJ, but it has to be DJ Smith, doesn't it? Like I would think he's next.
If you see the Canucks make the playoffs, or if the Canucks make the playoffs, how far do you see them go? There we
go. They'll go as far as Quinn Hughes and Thatcher Demko will take them. If Demko and Hughes get to that next level in the playoffs, they're going to be very dangerous. If a team figures out Demko early in a series, it could be very, very difficult for Vancouver. But in playoffs, it's goaltending and defense that really do usually separate the pretenders from the contenders. Usually a lot of the offensive weapons will get nullified a bit. And so That's where it goes. I'd be happy to see them in the playoffs, to be honest.
I would actually like to see a player look for high fives from the other bench. I saw there was that game like 2 weeks ago where a player scored a goal and hugged somebody from the other team accidentally, and the player pushed him off. That was really funny.
Did you see in the Ottawa?
I don't remember what game that was.
Ottawa
But that
Dallas
was really
game the other
funny.
night. One of the Ottawa players got cut for stitches, but in order to get the stitches, he had to go to the Dallas doctor. So Chikrin was right in the middle of the Dallas Stars. It's just all Dallas, an Ottawa player in the middle, and more Dallas Stars behind him. People were like, "Wait, why is he going to the wrong locker room? Does he just want to be traded to Dallas, or I'm going to go with these guys?"
Team.
So, but he needed stitches.
Rank the 3 fired coaches: Woodcroft, Evison, and Berube.
I'd have Berube at first, Woodcroft at second, and Evison third. I think all 3 of them are good coaches, and I think they'll all get a shot at another job, though.
Do you think the Sharks make a solid run that'll lose them the first overall pick? Playoffs?
There's no guarantee that you're going to get the number 1 pick by finishing at or near the bottom of the league anyways. I don't think there's any chance of playoffs for the Sharks. They don't have a defense that's going to keep them in the hunt for a playoff spot. And at some point in time, they're going to go through another period of time where they're having a hard time getting wins. But they're very competitive. They work really hard. It's been impressive to watch them over the last month.
When does TSN give you a full-time job?
Right after I moved to Toronto, which is not going to happen.
No, never.
So, yeah.
Let's see. You must visit Sweden. That'd be awesome. I would love to. Yeah. Thanks to you, I am now a collector of NHL jerseys here in Sweden. Can say it's a challenge, but I've been buying 45 since September.
Good job.
That's awesome. We would absolutely love to go to Sweden. That'd be amazing.
That'd be a great trip.
Have you seen the trailer to the movie The Minor League with Brett Hull and Timo Solani?
No, I haven't seen that one yet. But I've seen the trailer for Iron Claw, which is the Von Erich story. And just as like a spoiler for anybody who's like, I could handle watching that. It's not a happy story of the Von Erichs. I'm really surprised it's coming out at Christmas because the story I know of the Von Erichs is one of it's an American dream and then it's tragedy. A lot of tragedy.
A lot of people want to know if the Jets should call up different people. There's a whole lot of, yeah.
Oh,
Chibrikov, Lambert.
I would call up Chibrikov. I would call him up ahead of Lambert. Unless they feel that Lambert's really and truly ready, I would go with Chibrikov over him. But yeah, I honestly, the call-ups, it'll be interesting to see what they do because there's different reasons you're going to call up players. Are they going to call up somebody they look for offense and all that energy? Are you going to call up somebody who's a veteran, can play 4th line minutes, and you know what you're going to get? And usually NHL teams will go with that 4th liner. They know what they're getting, a guy with NHL experience too.
Do you think Ovi still has a chance to pass Gretzky despite his struggle this year or this season?
I've really fallen off on a year ago, 2 years ago, I was certain Ovechkin was going to catch Gretzky. I did get concerned with the fact that Ovi really slowed down towards the end of last season, but I thought it's just he's having a bad go of it. But it's different. His shot doesn't scare teams anymore, and it just feels different. It feels like he's coughing up the puck a little bit more often. He's lost a bit of a step, and I don't know how you get that back because aging is undefeated. So, yeah, I don't think now I'm going the other way. I don't think Ovechkin catches Gretzky.
Hi, Shannon and Devon. Merry Christmas. What are your thoughts on Quick winning 19 out of a possible 20 points because a New York Ranger fan? That's wild to me.
Quick has been a remarkable story. He's been an absolutely remarkable story. As long as they don't overplay him, as long as he's happy and he's comfortable, I don't know how far this can go, but I like their chances.
I still miss the hole in the ceiling. Man, people complained so much about our heating vent at the old house.
Yeah.
Here they can complain about how our ceiling is not level. Because we'll just get right on that and change that. So
true.
It's always something that somebody's going to complain about.
Yep.
Would you consider live streaming you watching that hockey movie trailer?
I don't generally do reaction content.
Yeah. We're kind of old for reaction.
I've never been one for reaction content, mainly other than, when they have the draft and free agency, but that's a little different.
That's not reaction though.
That's a little different. That's a watch along more
Yeah.
than a reaction kind of thing. I know it's similar, but yeah, that's about as close as I get.
Why do YouTube commenters complain so much? I think
that's because people are more likely to leave a negative comment than a positive one.
People kind of forget that,
just as a society,
that people on the computer or that they're watching are just normal people.
Yes. Yeah.
Like I would assume that people would not make the comments in person that they make online.
No.
Because some of them you're just like, what in the world? Why would you say that to a person?
Yeah.
Why do you make weird comments on their appearance or about their families or tell them they should move across country or, I think they forget the humanity in it.
There's definitely some of that.
That's my guess anyways.
Absolutely.
I would hope that's not how they normally behave. Or maybe it is. And since it's online, we see all of the odd
the cornucopia
people.
of oddities. Yeah.
Wait, is that a Battle Cat jersey Shannon
it is
wearing?
Battle Cat. Battle Cat from He-Man.
Shannon would get all excited.
And right here, so you got Gray Skull Battle Cats. See? And then over here, bam, Gray Skull Battle Cats. So matching, it's symmetrical and awesome.
See, 80s Shannon just got really happy.
What's funny is I didn't really enjoy the cartoon He-Man, but there were certain characters I liked, and I liked Battle Cat.
I did not like He-Man.
I like Triclops. Triclops was my favorite. So when Kevin Smith brought it back and did his own take on it, his take on Triclops was fantastic. He made him insane, and I was so happy.
When did you start your jersey collection?
When I was 18, so that'd be over 10 years ago, that I started my jersey collection. 10 years and a lot. Yeah. But yeah, it's when I was the earliest jersey I have back there is from when I was 18.
My son loves your sweater, Yvonne. He loves Jack. Oh, thank you. I like this one too.
Yeah. I got her into that movie. She wasn't really a big fan until she met me. Now everything is Nightmare Before Christmas. You're
not
welcome.
A thing. My parents got it.
I got you that mug.
Yeah, Shannon got me. It's my Christmas mug.
And
my parents
mug.
Got me Nightmare Before Christmas when it came out on VHS, and I was at home after one of my gajillions of surgeries. What?
Oh, I just mouthed the words. We're old.
We are old. And I watched it 3 times that day. I mean,
man, what movie?
We didn't have a lot of VHS or anything because back then you didn't.
Movies I watched that frequently be like Night of the Comet, which is a Christmas movie.
And I was on a lot of pain meds, so
Night of the Comet's a Christmas movie.
Go through, so I had to watch it again.
If you haven't watched Night of the Comet, I believe there's a full-length movie on YouTube where you can watch the whole thing. So. But I've bought it because I want to support Catherine Mary Stewart because she helped me get through some of my teenage years. And yeah, Night of the Comet, and what else? Highway to Hell, that one off HBO that I have with the Hell Cop, where they end up driving into hell. It's the highway that goes into hell.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I watched that one with you early on when we were together. That one I watched
all sorts of dorky movies with me when we were first dating.
It's not a dorky movie. Now, Lost Skeleton of Cadavra, that's a dorky movie.
One day we'll need to watch my dorky movies.
Lost Skeleton of Cadavra is one of the greatest movies in the history of movies.
How many jerseys does Yvonne have now? I don't know. I don't.
58, 96.
Shannon has not counted.
125.
I only have 1 rack of jerseys, and they all fit, including all of my jackets, because I have Canuck jackets because I go to a lot of Canuck games, and I have a lot of sweatshirts. So they all fit on 1 rack, so I have nothing compared to Shannon.
Aww.
And I don't have all of the teams.
So
right? There's a few teams I don't have jerseys for. But I don't know. I would guess I probably have about 40 jerseys.
Probably.
I would guess I have about 40.
Did you like about 100 more? Or?
No. I thought Nightmare Before Christmas was a Halloween movie back then.
It's both.
I didn't realize it was a holiday movie. Like, it was about holidays, but I didn't realize it was a movie specifically for holidays until it was years later when I realized, hey, they always come out with Nightmare Before Christmas stuff at Christmas. People think this is a Christmas movie.
See, now all we got to do is get people watching Night of the Comet at Christmas and make a big deal of that. Because it takes place at Christmas. Not making it up. It takes place at Christmas.
Ovi started to drop after his dad passed away. It would make sense that he's grieving and could bounce back when he's feeling better.
It may play a part in it, but he just looks old. He looks his age at this point. Players don't generally have a resurgence when they hit 39, 40 years of age. So I think what we're getting with Ovechkin now is what he is. And it's just he's not the same player.
Have you done any local Christmas activities this year?
She has.
I have. I've taken the kids to a few things. We've
took them to sweatshops.
No. We
how to make their own license plates.
We went to Lafarge on Friday,
which up that word.
No, it's in Coquitlam. It's a park. It's free. Good luck parking. And you get to walk around, and there's a ton of people because it's free. But is that
the one
really
you want
fun.
Me to go to?
No. Oh. No. I want Shannon to go to the one in Aldergrove where
so
they've.
Far from here.
It is not. It's like 13 minutes away. I checked on the GPS. No, in Aldergrove, they had one of the movie crews, gajillions of movie crews. They decorated a section for Christmas, and it's now like you can wander around.
So like the movie stuff is still up?
Yeah, they made it so that people can wander around this Christmassy. It's a set, but they've made it.
That could be fun.
So I've been trying to get you to go to
do a video. That could be fun. Then I could be the obnoxious influencer that's blocking people.
Oh my gosh. You're reminding me of people. I took the kids to Stanley Park the other day and did that. And then on Monday, we're going to Van Dusen and Blodell Donovan. That's one of our favorites. So we will be doing that on Monday. We're going to do Glow on Boxing Day. Yep. So Shannon can come because there's no games.
Great.
Yeah. I think that's everything.
No, Christmas Eve, I guess we do those silly light things you want to do.
Was it a Hallmark movie set?
Probably.
It was the people. I don't know that it was an actual set, but it was the people that make the gajillions of Christmas sets because a ton of the Hallmark movies.
So there'll be a bunch of nutcrackers.
Are filmed here, right? The big nutcracker. A lot of Hallmark movies are filmed here. It's funny because the city of Abbotsford releases the schedule for when the brand new filmed in Abbotsford Christmas movies are airing. Every year they do that. Okay, here's the new movies that were filmed this year.
It's a lot of Christmas movies.
They film a lot, and so there's a part of Abbotsford that is frequently decorated for Christmas. No, they don't block very much off. They have all the movie trailers in that area by the railroad tracks, so that doesn't take up space.
And then
they really stick to the sidewalk.
I always get a kick out of how every Christmas movie
they do use real snow,
but every Christmas movie has one celebrity that you'd know who they are. Feels like every Christmas movie 90s. Has one person that you'd remember from when you're a kid or
from the
adult.
90s.
And the rest of the actors and actresses are just kind of people starting out usually.
Where would Boom 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 by Venga Boys fit as a goal song?
Oh, I don't know if that would fit as I mean, Philly had that one weird dancey song there a couple years ago as their goal song. They seem to change theirs every year. The first thought I had, Venga Boys, I'm thinking, I don't know, Florida, like somewhere sunshiny. It's not going to work north of the border, so maybe in the states, in southern states, sure.
Is Dobson on his way to an 8-year deal in the $10 million AAV range?
Yeah. The question then becomes a matter of, I don't know that Dobson's elite defensively, but offensively he is. It becomes a matter of, so how much is that worth? Since it's the Islanders, I could see it being a little bit lower than $10 million, depending on who's still the GM when his deal comes up. But yeah, because Luke could retire. Luke could retire as soon as this coming summer. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how much Dobson gets with how much money other defensemen have been getting. There's going to be a lot of players with $10 million plus AAVs over the next couple of years.
Montreal having the defensive core with the most goals in the NHL. Who would have called that?
Struble.
Okay. Well, that says Struble. Looks like a keeper.
I agree on Struble, and I've been very gung-ho on their blue line back to last year. A lot of good young players that I like. I'm a big fan of Barron. I think that Harris is really good as well. Goalie, we know Goalie has all the potential in the world. Montreal's blue line is going to be quite good 2 years from now.
Should try and get a background gig in one of those movies, Shannon. LOL. We know a lot of people.
I'd be perfectly fine with that. That wouldn't bother me at all. A lot
of people.
I would fly across Canada right now to be in the background of a scene in Shoresy. Just to be in the crowd, or just banging on the glass, just something, whatever. I would fly across Canada to spend 10 seconds on the set and then fly back, and I'd be like, that was great, that was fantastic. Totally saw Jared Kiso. I'm good now. I'm fine. She thinks that's a terrible idea.
Where is a good place online to get jerseys cheap?
Cheap's the question.
By cheap, do you mean?
In the description to all my videos, there's Ben H Sports. Ben H Sports is on eBay. He usually sells them for a little bit less than the suggested retail price. If you're in the States, there's Sports K jerseys, where often he'll have the jerseys for cheap as well. I've dealt with both. I haven't had problems with either of them. Cool Hockey, there's usually sales on Cool Hockey. The one thing to keep in mind is I haven't had problems with Cool Hockey. They've always been good with me, but I've seen reviews from other people where they haven't necessarily been as good. So that's the one thing with Cool Hockey, is that, experience may not be the same depending on who's making a complaint. I have a feeling they know who I am at this stage. You have a feeling? I have a suspicion. Pretty darn sure. And I think they know that with how many subscribers I have, that if I have a really bad experience and I let everybody know, that could be tough for business. So yeah. But yeah, I would say Sports K jerseys and Ben H Sports, and his email address is in the description of my videos as well. You can email him directly. So you look up his eBay listings, you email him directly. Sometimes he even has stuff that's not listed. Sometimes it shows he's got one of something. He may have a bunch. You email him, you might get yourself a deal. Shannon is left-handed. Absolutely. Have been my whole life. Mm-hmm. My grandfather was left-handed, and they had that beaten out of him as a kid. Right. Because he was in Newfoundland, so right. They made him right-handed. I heard it was absolutely my mom had to do the right-handed classes. But like he'd get the, smacked across the hand for using his left hand. So I'm glad that never happened to me. There's no way we're moving to the States. Yeah. So no. We quite enjoy living in Canada. Thank you. Oh, yeah, I'm happy here. Moving from one country to another is just such a pain. There's so much paperwork, and it's not as easy. It has nothing to do with that, though. I'm still not moving. I don't care if there was no paperwork. I'm not moving. Well, eventually, someday I'll move by yourself, because I'm not moving. I was thinking Alaska. You can just go up to Alaska. No. I wouldn't mind seeing some bears. I've seen bears around here, but we don't have grizzlies here. We have the black bears and brown bears. They're so cute. And so I'd like to go up north where there's some grizzly bears. Not moving to the States. So I don't know if they're adorable or not. If you're on a trail and you're the only person on that mountain, that would be nerve-wracking. And there's a bear right in front of you on that path. You know that whole don't run away from a bear because they're faster than you? My feet don't know that, and they don't care. So I turned and ran like hell from a bear on a trail, the whole time saying to myself, if it's chasing me, I'm dead. If it's chasing me, I'm dead. Because I was the only person on the mountain. I was at summer camp. I was working up there. Everybody else had gone to Hope for the rest of the day, so I was alone. So even when I got to the camp, I was by myself. But at least I got down the hill. I got in my cabin, closed the door, and waited like 20 minutes before I came out, because I was like, I don't want to deal with a bear. Which bear is best? Black bears. They're adorable. It's just funny because I know so cute. The black bear probably they're really cute. They look so fat and fluffy, and they waddle because they're so fat and fluffy. Yes. As long as they don't eat your face, they can be very sweet.
I've never heard that being a problem for people, but I mean, I suppose, I
But
guess.
it's when the face eating starts,
Okay.
you're like, this is not great.
Anyways, if you got a part in a movie and had to leave for a few months and couldn't post videos, would you do it? By the way, you're getting paid good money for that movie.
No.
That could also kill the channel, though. So
no, I've seen YouTubers that will say, okay, I'm taking a break from my channel to do a movie, to do a CD, to do whatever, and the channel's never quite the same after. So yeah, I wouldn't do that. If I was going to do anything, I would try to work it into my schedule and do less videos, but I would never be in a situation where I would just stop.
Canada, where getting sick doesn't mean going bankrupt.
That is
not having
that is
to
one
wait
thing.
till you're really, really sick.
You can go to the ER at any time, and
yeah. Oh, somebody agrees with me that black bears are cute. Okay. Do you think the Hawks are tanking again?
Well, the Hawks in the offseason, the additions they made, it wasn't with the idea that, okay, now we're going to be a playoff team. It was, we're going to make sure that Bedard has a good experience his first year, and we have some veterans to help him and guide him through. Now that, Perry got bought out and Hall's out for the year, that's removed that for him. And it's made Chicago, that much more frustrating to watch if you want them to be better. But yeah, they're not a playoff team by design. I do expect Luke Richardson to wring some wins out of them that they're not supposed to get otherwise. But yeah, they're not a playoff team.
Merry Christmas from Finland.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you. Bears beats Battlestar Galactica.
Absolutely.
Will Cole Perfetti be a 75+ point scorer?
Not this year. Eventually he will. Perfetti has a ton of potential, but not every player comes in and just takes over right away. It takes some time, and yeah, he'll get there.
I think I saw Yvonne in Vancouver, but didn't want to be creepy and bugger. I actually don't mind people coming up and saying hi. I have never had a negative interaction with somebody that approaches me. I really don't mind. People are always very nice. And my kids usually think it's pretty darn cool. Because people don't off. Yeah, people don't usually approach when it's just me. I do recognize that look of, hey, I know who that is. I'm used to seeing that because I can usually tell Shannon, hey, that person knows who you are.
Yeah.
And they'll come up, but really, I don't mind being approached as long as people are nice. Which
That's how I met you.
They pretty much always are.
I just walked up to you at the bar and I was like, hey, couldn't help noticing you're not
don't go to bars. Yeah, I don't go to bars.
You were like, I don't like beer. And I was like, I don't like beer either. We got lots to talk about. And so
picked you up on the side of the road. True.
Wasn't it Walmart? Wasn't that the story at one point that you got?
Oh, Adelaide. Walmart? No, she thought I got you a Superstore or something. I don't even know if you had to have said something to her.
I think I did.
Adelaide.
I think I did.
For years would tell people that I found Shannon at Superstore, which is a grocery store here. She was telling people that I found Shannon at the grocery store. It might have been some just backhanded comment I made because I'd make a comment like that. Yeah, I picked him up at the grocery store. They won't let me return him. Something like that. Yeah, but she used to tell people that I found him at the grocery store.
Yep.
With Perry in the player's assistant program, when is he eligible to sign with another team? And will he get another shot?
I mean, technically, he'd be eligible to sign a contract. I would think right now, being in that program doesn't mean you can't sign a contract. But also he may have to go through sort of the tryout process to show that the layoff hasn't caused him to lose a bit of a step. He'll probably have to do that. I would think that once we get to trade deadline time, somebody will probably look to give him a job. But I think his reputation's taken a real hit with all this.
Do you quote Trailer Park Boys, or is that just a Canadian thing?
I quote Trailer Park Boys.
Absolutely. I don't, because I don't watch it.
What comes around is all around. So, and, worst case Ontario. That's my favorite, is worst case Ontario.
He does say that one. There's a few that Shannon says, the goofy ones. But it is a very Canadian show. They do speak very Canadian, so sometimes it's not people saying
that one and Letterkenny are like so
That's
Canadian.
Very, very Canadian, yeah.
So Canadian. very Ontario accent on Letterkenny and very Nova Scotian accent on Trailer Park Boys.
I use Rocket Appliances all the time.
Oh yeah, I'm
Shannon
not a
does.
Rocket Appliance. Yeah. I'm Juniper.
If the Pens are not in the hunt by the deadline, who do you think they will sell? And if so, who?
If the Canes are not in the hunt, say Canes?
Pens.
The Pens? Oh, I don't know who the Pens sell. Gensel's on an expiring contract. I really think they're going to try to keep Gensel around. The other problem is that if you sell, you kind of have to go to Crosby and Malkin and Letang and say, here's the plan, because you want to keep them happy short-term and long-term. It gets dodgy because it's been clear for years that Crosby doesn't want to be a part of a rebuild. Crosby's contract will be coming up, I think, next summer. Isn't it next summer? It gets tough. It'll be interesting to see what Kyle Dubas does because you can't go into a full rebuild.
First few seasons of Letterkenny were so good.
It's been up and down.
The third season's my favorite.
It's been up and down.
And the holiday ones are all great.
Yes. The Halloween one. The Halloween one's fantastic.
The Christmas one?
The Christmas one is so good.
So funny.
It's so good. Bonnie McMurray helping them hand out the presents because people are all crying.
Yeah, the Christmas one's really funny.
Yeah, he makes Tanis cry.
How much is Draisaitl's next contract worth?
At least 12.5 million a year. Like Draisaitl's going to get paid on that next contract. McDavid as well, and I think they'll be two of the top 5 paid players in the NHL.
Yes, my daughter's name is Adelaide, just like Adelaide, Australia, or Queen Adelaide. Yep, that's her name. I thought it was a pretty name.
Or Adelaide Kane from that show, Rain.
There's a few shows with actresses or characters named Adelaide. Yeah. What teams do you think will change their branding with the new Fanatics deal?
Keep an eye on the Ducks. There was a rumor that the Ducks were going to go to the orange jerseys full time, and then it didn't happen. But maybe it happens with Fanatics. And outside of that, we'll probably see striping changes. I'd like to see the Devils go back to the old striping they had on the Reeboks. Outside of that, I don't think we're going to see branding changes. I think Columbus fans would love to see the Cannon jersey in white and see a home and away version of that. I don't know if that happens either, but I don't think there's going to be major changes. But usually when we switch manufacturers, something's different with the new manufacturer, something they're trying to, sell you on. You need to replace your whole collection for this. I'm not going to buy it. I'm not. Unless there's a major change to a jersey, I'm not getting it.
I'm just hoping to see Riley and Jonesy in season 3 of Shoresy. We were talking about that. We thought that would be really fun.
Especially with Letterkenny wrapping up. I think Riley and Jonesy showing up on Letterkenny would be great.
Oh, my daughter's named Adelaide too, or as well, not a common name, but I love it. Me too. I like names that are not really common, but not complicated, though nobody can spell Adelaide. I did not realize that was going to be so difficult, but nobody can spell my name either, so it's all right. Please don't pay too much attention to negative comments.
I don't. I just at times I have to address them if there's a lot of them, but in general, I don't pay much attention to them. I'm definitely better at not paying attention to them than I was 6 years ago.
How much? Oh, well, Canucks win over Chicago.
Oh, we'll see. That game starts in a couple of minutes. We'll see how much they win by or if they win. Because, again, Chicago's capable of getting wins here and there. They've got 3 in their last 10. If you take a team lightly in the NHL, they can beat you.
Can you see Edmonton packaging Campbell and Broberg in a trade?
Maybe. It's going to be tough to move Campbell's contract. Campbell's contract is quite the anchor. I don't know if Broberg... I think you'd have to throw in something else. I do. I think they'd have to add a draft pick, and it gets pricey. And even then, I'm not sure what you're getting back in that package.
Do you feel the obligation to be on all the time as a local celebrity? Don't you wish to be left alone sometimes when out in public?
No. I mean, I'm fine if I'm like, there's times where we've gone to shows or gone to things and nobody knows who I am, and I'm fine with that. I don't care one way or the other. It doesn't bother me if people know who I am.
people really don't bother us. They
No.
really don't.
No.
The most we get people actually approaching us is when we're at hockey games,
which is normal, and I
either
expect that.
local or Vancouver.
Yep.
But even then, people are very polite. They don't like try and hang around you all the time. They really just kind of say hi really quick, like your show, and ask if they can have a selfie a lot of times. But really, that's it.
Yep.
It's not too much.
Yeah, I haven't had a bad interaction.
And in town, because we're not in Vancouver. In town, it's not that often. Like I
if we
get
go to the
approached
mall,
sometimes, like at the grocery store or whatnot, but even that, it's not.
Like the last few times I went to Seven Oaks, it's no big deal.
Right.
I just walk through, nobody cares.
Even going to Abbotsford hockey games, I frequently don't have people come up. So it's not.
Yeah, I really don't. It really doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
Because without people that are willing to come over and say hi, well, then I don't have a channel. So,
right.
It's a trade-off. It's part of that trade-off. So it doesn't bother me. So if you see me in public, come over and say hi. Because when you stare, she knows you're staring.
Yes.
We know you're staring.
We can always tell. And they usually do this.
Yeah.
Or like, okay.
But like the last time I went to an Abbotsford game, there was one I was just glaring at me, and I was like, okay, does he know who I am, or is he just
over there
angry at me for something? Because I'm not doing anything. I'm just sitting here. So the staring can sometimes be a little unsettling. Just come over and say
ever
hi.
happen to be seated next to a fan of the channel at a game?
Yes. The last game we went to in Vancouver.
I
sat down and the guy was like, hey, I love your channel. And I was like, hey, cool.
Frequently, the people right in front of us or right next to us know who we are. Very frequently. That's weird. And same with concerts. We've had that at concerts too. I think, wasn't it Ghost? We had the person right next to us at the Ghost concert knew who Shannon was as well. So yes, that is pretty common. And again, we've never had anything negative. People are always really nice.
All right. Well, the game's starting up.
All right. Yep. Game's starting. So
Chicago and Vancouver are about to drop the puck. So gonna have to cut the live stream off here, but I'll be reviewing that game.
Ghost is fantastic live.
Ghost
I want them to come back.
Amazing live.
Because our kids really want to go see them.
We will take the children to see Ghost.
They really.
Great. So, but at any rate, thanks guys for coming out, and we will do this again soon. Well, we're going to do the one on Christmas Day. So,
yes.
Christmas isn't always a great day for people, so we like to do a live stream on Christmas Day because not everybody's having a fantastic day and just hang out and have just a normal conversation. So, thanks guys for coming out, and we'll do this again soon.